Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Check. What up, world? It's the man with the plan, Burt McGurk, aka PR, the King of Hearts, and you are now tuned into Clocking Out, the podcast you listen to when you need to get motivated and inspired to doing bigger and better things. What is going on, everyone? Hold on, we got a whole bunch of things going on right here. I gotta be a little bit more organized. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope y'all having a great Monday. Today, we will be talking about feeling invisible at work, but loud in real life or loud in our lives. When we have that outstanding energy or that aura or that inner voice telling us to go and do bigger and better things, but for whatever reason that same voice isn't as confident or as loud at our 9-to-5 jobs, and we feel like we just can't move forward in our 9-to-5 jobs like we used to in our normal lives and things. I don't know if anyone else feels like that. I feel like that sometimes. Let me fix my mic a little bit. So today we're going to be talking about that. I want to give a shout out to all new followers and supporters. Thank you guys for the love. I truly appreciate it. Everyone who's been making a purchase on ClockingOut.net, thank you so much. We did have a few hiccups on a few different things when it came to promos that we were trying out, but we did get that sorted out. If anyone is interested, please feel free to go and visit ClockingOut.net. Show some love and support. You can always get yourself a hoodie, a shirt, a hat, socks, whatever it is that you feel you need to get you ready to go out there and make some moves and make it happen. Let's see. Is all this working and connected? Yes, it's all working and connected to all streaming services. I just want to make sure. Sometimes we have some issues here connecting on StreamYard. All right, so today I wanted to try something out this week. I'm trying to hold a giveaway once a week where we will be giving away some VeeFriends stuff. I got a bunch of VeeFriends stuff I really got to give out to you guys. I've been holding on to it for way too long, so I figured I'd just make as many different opportunities as possible for you guys to claim some POAPs and let those POAPs be the access tokens to the raffles of the giveaways. What is going on with my left eye? It feels like swollen, and it looks swollen too. It's not good. Gotta check that out. Anyway, so today you have an opportunity to claim a POAP. All you have to do is interact in the live stream. There's going to be two different types of POAPs. There's going to be a POAP that will be rewarded to the people who are following or subscribed and are interacting in the chat during the live stream as we are live. Anything that you are sharing in the chat, whether you're interacting with each other or whether you're trying to just interact and give some feedback to the stream, if it's something related to what we're discussing and it has some value, I will post it up on the actual screen to share with the rest of the people who are in the chat or live watching or listening. If you are not able to join the live stream, you will still have an opportunity to claim the second POAP, which is for those who are unable to join the live stream for whatever reason. I know this time, 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is a little difficult for a few people to get on and get involved. A lot of people are just getting home. I understand that. So I wanted to, basically still give people the opportunity to still get involved and claim a POAP, even if they weren't able to attend the live stream. So if you're not able to attend live, but you still want to participate, all you would have to do is interact with any of the posts that are related to tonight's live stream or any, or you can just, here we go. We got some people right here. I want a POAP. What's going on, man? Thank you for joining. So basically the way that it's going to work is for the second POAP, for those who aren't able to join the live stream, the way that you'll be able to claim is just interacting with the live stream pre-recorded after the fact, or any posts related to the live stream, there's certain questions that we're going to be rapid firing during the live stream. So if you answer any of those questions in a post and tag Clocking Out wherever you are posting it, whether it's Instagram, if you're answering in the comments on YouTube, just make sure you mention or you tag us. Also the same on X, wherever you see this video or live stream posted. If you reply in the comments and you tag and mention us, and you reply to one of the questions or topics that we are discussing during the live stream, that is going to make you eligible, and it's considered as participating, and you'll be able to claim a POAP. Now, each POAP is going to be used as an access token for this week's giveaway. I put up a I don't know what you would call it, like a random question thing, I think on Sunday, asking a few people from the Clocking Out website, from the Clocking Out X page, what you guys would like this week's raffle prize to be, or giveaway prize to be, related to VeeFriends, and the majority of you guys voted on a graded card. So I'll be picking a random graded card, VeeFriends graded card. Mostly, I'm pretty sure it's a CGC graded card. We're going to check it out and see what I have in there. I don't know how I'm going to go about picking it randomly, but the winner of this week will get a VeeFriends graded card. So we're going to be going live 3 times this week. Today is 1, Wednesday is going to be 2, and Friday will be 3. Each day will be giving you guys an opportunity to claim 1 to 2 POAPs. One that you can claim by participating during the live stream, like Leonardo's doing right now off of X. I'm actually happy that the comments are working on X today here on StreamYard. Usually for some reason it doesn't connect and I don't get to see what you guys are saying. So yes, Leonardo, don't worry, we got you. You're going to be getting yours. Other than that, what was I saying? How was I going about this? All right, so yes, today you'll have those 2 opportunities. So during the stream, as long as you interact and you get involved during the stream, you will be able to qualify to claim today's POAP. Each POAP is a limited quantity. I had to shorten it up a little bit and make it a little bit more balanced out the way that I did this for the giveaway. I had to follow certain rules with the POAP peoples. So I tried doing a whole bunch of other things, and this is the only way that works. So we got to follow the rules. We got to do it the right way. So today, what we're going to be talking about is feeling invisible at work, but loud in life. In other words, when you feel like when you're out of your 9-to-5 job, you're very energetic. You really got this thing of wanting to do bigger and better, and you know that you are meant to do bigger and better things, and you're not where you're supposed to be or where you should be. But for whatever reason, that energy, that enthusiasm, that motivation, that, what would you call it, confidence, for some reason disappears when you're at work. You're not that same person at work. So when you're out of work, you know that you got that thing where you know you want to do something amazing, but for some reason, whenever you start working and you're at your job, you notice that there's something that eats away at you, and you're not that same type of person. You don't got that same energy, that same chain of thought, that same focus. And it's because it's not what you really care about. Your 9-to-5 job isn't really something that you care about. You're not really doing something that you like, that you enjoy, that you have a passion for, that you feel like is beneficial to yourself. Maybe you're just tired of it. You need to switch things up. But even after you switch things up, you go from one job to another, it got really quiet. Hold on. You start noticing, yeah, it's that while I'm recording, I know it gets quiet. So it's either people are listening or something's going on. So I just double check. You start noticing that you want to change and switch things up, because the repetitiveness of not doing anything and being stuck in the same place kind of gets to you, right? So while you're at work, you notice that you're not as loud as you are out of work, in the sense of your motions, your actions, your movements. It's not the same thing. You don't got that same focus, that same drive to move forward, because you feel like it's going unnoticed sometimes. Like I know I've been there. I've been in that situation where I feel invisible at work, and it's one of those things where I've worked a job where I've been there. I've worked 12 plus hours on a shift, and the only type of feedback that I've gotten is when I've messed up on something, and that sucks. That'll get to you, and that'll put you to the point where you don't want to go to work, and you don't want to do certain things or deal with certain situations, because you feel like the only thing that's getting noticed is the negative things, right? So those are things that stick out when you're thinking about feeling invisible at work and you're louder in real life. In those type of situations, it gets you to really wonder and think, why is it that you're putting so much effort to a job or a place that you really don't want to be at, or you really don't feel like you're respected for the amount of effort, the time, the energy that you put in it. You could be putting into anything else. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that just tends to go unnoticed. Despite you putting in the time, and sometimes a lot of people, while they're working at a job, they put it in a type of way that it's very obvious that they don't want to be there. But a lot of other people, they understand that they have to be there, so they change it. They put in that energy, they put that face, they put on that show, or whatever it is that you want to call it, because they know they got to get through that shift. But sometimes it's to the point that it's so repetitive, and there's nothing really that they can do to change it, that you can see past the act of them wanting to be there or caring about what they're doing. There's so much going on upstairs. This is why I need to find a better place to record. Let's switch up the background music real quick. Hold on.
This is your brain when you're struggling.
We got to switch up the background music. There you go. That's a little bit better. Anyway, there's so much going on upstairs, and I'm trying to talk over it, but at the same time, it's not that easy. So yes, Leonardo, thank you for joining. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for asking for a POAP. Being that you're in the chat, hopefully you're still here kicking it. Real quick, have you ever felt like your hard work went unnoticed at your job? Have you ever had a job that made you feel like that? And if so, can you give us an example? And anyone else, if you are watching the live stream, or whether you're in the chat watching live, or whether you're watching this after the fact and you would like to participate, all you got to do is answer this question in the comments or reply to it in a post. Make sure that you tag and you mention us. Have you ever felt that your hard work went unnoticed at a job? And like I've mentioned, I've had a job where I've worked 12 plus hours. And this isn't the current job that I'm at now. This is like past jobs. I've worked 12 plus hour shifts, and the only type of feedback or recognition that I've gotten is when I've messed up on something. And that's gotten like that like, and it makes me stay quiet. It makes me stay quiet. It makes me not want to say nothing, ask anything, because it's like, all right, if all that's going noticed is like when I mess up on something, but you really don't see when I'm really trying, or the times that I really get the things right, or maybe you do and it doesn't matter. Why am I gonna try and ask for something that I feel like is important to me, when I felt like those things were important and were worth your attention? I know what I'm going to ask, or what I'm looking for, what I'm planning, or what, I mean. We clearly don't see the same way. We don't see eye to eye when it comes to that. So that right there is going to start a problem. And I'm the type of person that, I'm pretty sure other people in situations like that have felt the same way. When you're in a job, you don't want to ask for anything. And I feel like not asking for a favor or nothing, but asking in the sense of, if you know that there's opportunity at a job, you're going to ask for, like, what's the next step to move forward, for you to advance, for you to do better, for you to go to the next level, for you. Like, I don't know about anybody else, but that's the way I've done things. I've gotten to a job, and as soon as I get there, like the job that I have now, I really like it. And it's not because the job is a good job, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's not an easy job. It's a very demanding job, in the sense of having patience and dealing with like a repetitiveness, where once you handle one problem with one person, you kind of deal with the same thing with another person, just a little differently. And it does get stressful. It does get stressful where you feel like you're doing the same repetitive thing over and over every single day. And it's like you think these people would get it already, or you think like, and at the same time it's like situations and conversations and problems that are understandable why they're repetitive. But it does get testy. It does test you. It tests your patience. It tests your boundaries. And yeah, so with all that, I say that because I really like the job, right? But there's a lot of jobs that are very demanding about a lot of things, and your efforts go unnoticed. Like the job that I have now, I really liked it because of the people that are at the job, the coworkers that I have, the environment that I'm in. It's I don't want to say it's comfortable, but it's nice to be around people that you either can relate to, you can trust, that you know are being honest and upfront with you. You know you don't have to do much explaining. Like it's one of those situations where it's comfortable in the sense where you know that you're around people who understand to a certain level, where it leaves you with enough space to do your own thing, but at the same time knowing that you have room to grow, and people willing to understand that, respect it, and give you your space, but still guide you in the right direction. You know, when the time calls for it, or when they see that you need it. And I've felt that with this job, which made me question what other things I could do to level up, to still be in that space, add more value, but also get more in return, not just aimlessly doing stuff. You know what I mean? And it got to that point. You know, so now I'm in a good position. I like what I do. Um, it did feel like I was putting in a lot more than what I was getting out at some point. But when I spoke about it, it was addressed, and I've never felt like that at some other jobs. So I know it's difficult. That's why I want to talk about those things. I know it's difficult to feel like you're seen or you're noticed at certain jobs, that you see opportunity, but then you start noticing like the things that you're doing are going unnoticed, or it's either that they are going noticed, but it's just that they don't care. I've been at certain jobs where they see what I'm doing, they see that I'm not calling out, they see that I'm taking up extra hours, they see that I'm doing jobs that aren't mine just because I'm taking the initiative, but then all of that gets swept under the rug because of something like seniority. There'll be someone in there that does way less than me, but they've been there longer. So once an opportunity comes, automatically it's theirs. It doesn't matter that I've been taking all their shifts while they've been calling out and taking vacation, or doing all the work that they don't want to do because either they're too lazy or don't know and they're unexperienced. Like, I've been in those situations. So I understand when people feel overlooked or undervalued. You know, it's very understandable. And with that, I say just speak up. And if you speak up and you still see that you're being ignored or you're being overlooked for something stupid, you know what I mean, as like seniority, I'd say that's like the real sign to start looking for something else. That's what I've, anytime it's gotten to that point with me at any place of employment, I've always looked at that as the sign of like, all right, it's time to get out and like do something else. Um, that as well as whenever I'm at work, if I feel like I'm clock watching at work and I'm waiting to leave, that's another sign. Like, all right, it's time to start seeing what else I'm going to do, because clearly I don't want to be here. And it sucks. Why do I feel like I hate the fact that I have to fix that with this camera? I have the camera set like not to the mirror thing, but the opposite. So it's like, really, this is my left side, but on here it shows it as my right. And I don't know. It's kind of annoying when I'm looking at myself. Anyway, um, but yeah, clock watching while you're at work and you're watching the time go by until you're trying to get the fuck out of work because you don't want to be there. That's another thing. Like, all right, if you really feel like that and you feel like time isn't going by and you could be doing something better, you already know that you got to be looking for something else to do. Again, I don't feel like that at this job. I feel very busy at this. Yes. Does it get annoying? Yes, it gets annoying. Does it get testy? Yes, it gets testy. But at the same time, it comes with the job. It's one of those things that it's a responsibility. And I understand that part of it. And I don't mind that. I don't. But again, Did the music stop? No, I think it's just changing. But again, I'm at a supervisor level, so it's like a certain responsibility is required and asked, and that I understand. But what I'm talking about is at jobs that you're just at regular entry level, you're a normal employee, and it's to the point where you're questioning whether to put that time and effort into this company, this establishment where you can actually create or have the opportunity for a career, where you can go from being a regular employee to a supervisor, a manager, or whatever, and keep going on there if it's a beneficial thing for you in the end, whether it's through payment or benefits or, whatever it is. This eye is really bothering me for some reason. But based on that, it's based on that, I'm seeing like spam stuff. I don't thought it was someone really, it's like a spam link thing. I say, ask yourself, because if you feel like you're going unnoticed at your job for all the hard work that you're putting in, if you feel like you could be doing something else better with your time and you're just sitting there at work waiting to clock out because you want to do something else, you should start looking at something else that you could do. It's not easy, man. Trust me, I understand. It's not easy finding work doing something you enjoy doing. I totally, completely understand that. I know it's not easy. It's not easy. Like, you want to focus on getting, like, I wish, like, and a lot of people make it seem like it's easy, and it is at the end of the day, but it's not easy to find a job to get paid what you would like. Like, you can easily find work doing what you want to do. It doesn't matter what it is. You can make up something, and like, you could find a company looking for something, like, I guarantee you. But the thing is just finding a place that's going to pay you what you expect or what you think or what you need or what you're looking for that job or for that work that you're trying to do. And the question is, like, you can literally demand whatever you want, but at the end of the day, what gives you the right to demand that much per hour, per job, per day, per month, whatever it is that you're doing, and what makes it stand out? Is it the quality of work that you're doing, the quantity of work that you're doing, the style, the art? It's there's a lot of things that go into it. So when you're trying to find a job doing what you really love to do, you have to ask yourself, how experienced are you in that thing to actually find work, to where whoever it is that finds you, you have the right to be like, all right, I want this much per hour, though, I want this much a day, or I expect to get this much paid, you know? And if you're not at that position, then you have to ask yourself again, are you even in that level or in that space where you should be even considering looking for a job doing that? Because it's still like a gamble, being that you don't have that experience, and I feel like if you don't have that experience to set your own price doing something, I don't think you're at a level to be focusing on making that your priority as a source of income. And I say that from firsthand experience, because I'm not even at that level. And I used to think it was something that easy. Like, yeah, I've done over 50 episodes on a podcast. I could definitely charge $200 for fun. You know what I mean? Not that I really thought that's how much you charge somebody, but I'm saying, for example, exaggerating. But yeah, and then you got, while you're at a job and you feel like your bosses are asking or demanding passion for a job that you don't even like, let alone love, or that you don't love, let alone like, however you want to put it. And they demand you, like, oh, show you care. Like, well, what if this was your, and it's not. Like, I've been to jobs like that too, where a boss would be like, make pretend this is your company. How would you like to be represented? And I understand that, but it's not my company, so you can't ask me that. You know what I mean? Especially when you're working in a place where it doesn't matter how much time you put in or how much effort goes into it or how many sales get pushed out. That doesn't change what you get paid at the end of the week or the end of the day. Like, if there's a different system behind it that's rewarding the hard work that's being put in and the effort, that's totally different, because there's motive behind it. But when it's not, and it's just words of like, oh, be thankful, be grateful that you have a job, like, you should be, like, things like that. Nah, like, for that, be grateful that you're even having them show up to do, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you could say the same thing the other way. And it's like, I've been on both sides of the fence, so I understand. I'm not a business owner to the point where I have employees under me, but I understand the process, and I've been in levels of employment where you have to make those tough decisions, or you have to sit down and really analyze the bigger picture of things to really be like, okay, I understand why. You know what I mean? I understand why this works, this doesn't work. I understand why this can be done and this can't be done. I understand why it looks and feels this way. Whoa, let me not take it. No, I understand why it looks this way or might seem this way from behind the scenes or from the other side, but it's really not. You know, there's a lot of things that go into play when it comes to making a business, a successful business, of being able to fulfill the needs of the employees and the customers and the people who are investing in the company to keep it going. You know, there's so many things that come into play with that. um I don't know why it's showing, and there's nothing there. That's weird. It's the lights. But yeah, so all those things, man, it comes into play where it makes you wonder if you really feel like your work is going undervalued or overlooked. And it makes you question why put in so much time and effort into one job when you can go find another one. And then there's also the thing where if you keep going from one job to the next, to the next, to the next, and it's the same thing at each job. It's the same thing. It doesn't change. It doesn't matter what job you're at, you get the same feeling, the same reaction, the same after the first week or so, or 2 months or something like that. You get right back into the same feeling of like, you feel like, what am I doing here? Or it goes from being, I love this job, to damn, I can't wait to leave, or when I got to start looking for something else. I know I can't be the only one. But what was the last time you felt undervalued at work? What was your last time that you felt undervalued at work? I know one time I was and I'll never forget it. And I actually got the position after a while, but I felt like they made the process even more complicated specifically for me. And I think what they were trying to do is, I like picking up my mic now. I don't know why, just in case. If anyone's wondering, like sometimes I'll pick, it's not that it's floating. I just um but one time I was this is when I was really young, and I think at the time, and I think still to this day at that job, I hold the record for this. I was the youngest supervisor, right? So what happened was, I was working at a movie theater, and I shouldn't have been working at the movie theater, right? This was back in the time where if you had your working papers from school, you can get a job somewhere. I had a friend, I had a family member of mine who had a friend who was a manager at the movie theater and who could have got me in, but he's like, yo, you need working papers. So I got working papers. The working papers were supposed to be for you to be 15 years old or something like that. And then you were allowed to work a certain amount of days for a certain amount of hours each week or something like that, right? And I got it, but I remember like I lied on the paper. I put that I was 15. I was really 14. But you know, I used the excuse of my whole like, oh, my birthday's in November, so it falls in late, and you know, blah blah blah, whatever. I slipped through the cracks, right? I was able to get a job. And being that I was young, I was very eager to work. So I was always working my ass off. And I always heard opportunity like this: we don't have enough supervisors. We need more supervisors, but no one ever goes to the position. So being that they were looking for more supervisors, they kept adding things to the benefits of a supervisor that made it more tempting. But still, it just, the amount of work, not that it was like very, it wasn't hard work working at a movie theater. It's annoying. It's annoying work to clean people's popcorn and take out the trash. And yes, it's annoying. It's very annoying work, but compared to other things you could be doing at the age of 14 for money, like it was nothing. So, I saw the opportunity. So every time that there was an opportunity to do more work, I looked at it like, if I did more work, that would show that I'm eager to work and that give me a better opportunity at claiming the new position of a supervisor if they saw it. Like, you know, if I work more, I get more experience in each of the things that I do, which means I know more. So anytime any situation would come my way, I'm prepared for it. I've done it. You know what I mean? So every time that something was going on, if there was a leak somewhere, like I knew like how to handle it. If one of the projectors weren't working, I would go up there with the projection guy, because at the time they have projections. Now they don't do that. Now I think they do everything with like digital, whatever the fuck. Back then they had the film projector. So like I would see them how they would thread the movies, and how like if they ever messed up, I knew how to fix it, and the project, like I knew all that just because I went up, and whenever there was a problem, like I was there looking over the shoulder. So when the opportunity came, I'm like, listen, I know how to do this, you know, just showing them the reasons that it would be beneficial for me to be in a position of a supervisor, right? And I did this for months. I just kept like going at it until after like I'd say like 3 months. There's so much going on, and I promise if you hear the noise that they're not fighting, that's I have a Puerto Rican family. That's just how they talk. So it seems like they're fighting and yelling at each other. They're just talking. That's how they say hi, just in case if you hear the stuff in the background. Look. Anyway, right? So back to the story. At this job, right? I did this for like 3 months nonstop, taking up all the hours, whatever that I could, because I was like working underage or whatever the hell, right? With the working papers. And the opportunity came to be a supervisor, and I went for it, and I didn't get it, and it was given to someone else. And what really got me mad is that the other person that got it was a person that started there. Like, again, I was doing this for 3 months. This person started like a week. After 3 months, I went for the position of supervisors, for a supervisor, and within that week, at the end of the 3 months, this new person started. And they just put their name on a list. They didn't go through anything. They weren't experienced in nothing. They didn't know, and they got it. And then I remember I asked them. They were just older than me. They were older than me, and I asked them. I was like, "Do you know how to thread if the projector goes wrong? Do you know?" No. I was like, "If there's a leak when it's raining or whatever, and we have to, you know, block off certain exits or something like that, so the leaks don't come through to mess up the theaters. Do you know how to do?" No. If the credit cards aren't working and that system's down, do you know how to override this or use? No. Do you know, like, it was so many little things, and I'm like, yo, none of that even matters. I was like, so why'd you get it? They're like, I don't know, someone just told me to put my name on the list to go for supervisor, and I said okay, and I went for it. And I kept looking at all the things, comparing the both of us, like, what is the benefit of her getting it over me? And it was a female, and I didn't take the whole male and female thing into it. I thought that was stupid. So the only thing that I could think of was the age, that she was older than me, because I was young at the time. I was 14 years old, going to be a supervisor at a movie theater. And I remember I raised hell about this, because for 3 months I was like looking at all the rules and the guidelines and this and that, and I did everything. And then I went onto the website, and then I saw like in detail what you really needed to do to be a suit. So I did those exact steps one by one, and I waited another like 2 to 3 weeks. And it comes out that you have to like write a letter and mail it in and request a meeting with all the other managers and supervisors of that branch from that area to come in and sit. And I did all of that, and I sat down with them, and they still tried telling me no. And I remember I got pissed. At this time. I'm like, because it was already months in, and it was like almost within a year. It would have been within 6 months. I think it was within 6 months, but it almost took a year to really make all this like officially happen. And I remember I sat down with them, and I was so mad after like those like 6 months or whatever it was, that I went through all that. And I'm like, yo, you just made this chick like a fucking supervisor overnight for no reason whatsoever. She doesn't know how to handle any of these situations or anything like that. Meanwhile, I'm like prepared for whatever you guys will throw at me. And just because of my age, meanwhile, I got more, like, when it comes to seniority, I got more than her, because I've been like, you know, so it's like all these little things that they were trying to use as excuses. And at the end of the day, the excuse was literally that they just didn't like the fact that I was extremely young. They wanted someone older. They felt like I wouldn't be mature enough to handle. And I'm like, I think due to the circumstances and how I handled it, I think I did show I was mature enough. I did everything the professional way. I signed the paper. I wrote the letter with all the reasons why I believe. I put in the time. I put in the effort. I started like all these different things. And that's when I noticed, like, that time right there, that I felt like undervalued. That's when I really felt undervalued because of that moment. I'm like, yo, I realized that it doesn't matter how much loyalty you have for a job. It doesn't always mean that you're going to grow with them. Like, you can help to make $1 million. That doesn't mean you're going to see a bonus check. You get what I'm saying? They'll always be like, oh, thank you, I appreciate it. And you know what I mean? They'll remember how hard of a worker you are. So when it comes time that they need to cover a shift, oh, so-and-so loves to work. Remember that one time? But you know what I mean? That a lot of the times the thing of giving back to those people for putting in that time and effort, that's what goes unnoticed a lot of times. And I've noticed that a lot of people feel like they shouldn't say anything at work, so that they're not in a position of feeling ungrateful because they have a job. And that's what sucks, man. I've been in that position. I feel like I shouldn't say nothing because I feel like they're going to hit me with, well, at least you have a job. You know what I mean? It's like, well, if I really just wanted to be that person, I could be like, this isn't my job. Like, my job is supposed to be this, and I don't want to do the extra hours. But you do it because it's a job. It's a job. And a lot of people be like, well, you're getting paid for it. No, sometimes you don't. I've been at jobs where I've been in positions where you get paid salary, and it doesn't matter how many hours you get. You only get those 8 hours a day. You can work 10 to 12 hours. And thank God, like, it's not like that with this job that I have now. A lot of things have changed, and it's beneficial to the actual employees. And again, this job, people spoke up, they listened, they made changes, and that's what I like about this place. A lot of other jobs aren't like that. It is what it is, and that's it. And you have to deal with it, and you have to roll with it. And you're put in a position where it's like, you know what, I put on all these hours and effort and everything like that, but I don't get anything in return from it except for a thank you, or sometimes not even a thank you. You just get, oh, you did this wrong. Meanwhile, they don't want to take into note that you worked like an extra 3 hours overtime, and you were tired, and you worked through your lunch, and you didn't take break. And you know what I mean? There's a lot of situations that go overlooked, and it sucks. So again, those are things that'll make me make any person want to go and look for that. So if you want, share in the comments, share wherever you're watching and listening to that. Make sure that you mention and make sure that you mention and tag Clocking Out if you're responding. All right. But that was one of the times that I felt, that was one of the last times I felt undervalued, and I was really young around that time. But it was a learning lesson. It was a lesson well learned. You know, another time was when I put in a lot of work and effort at work, but then I mentioned like a side hustle, and then coworkers will discourage it. You know what I mean? Like the whole clocking out thing, I did it. And for a while, I wouldn't tell anyone that I was doing it. I'd keep it separate from my personal accounts. I wouldn't let anyone who I knew personally follow me on any of my clocking out accounts, just because of the fact that I wouldn't want to get discouraged from anyone saying anything or devaluing any efforts that I was putting towards it, or any ideas that I was testing out. You know what I mean? Because I know that that's very easy. It's very easy to get discouraged when you're testing out a few things and you're trying things. So I did my best to make clocking out very separate from my personal accounts, to avoid anyone I knew personally taking what I was trying to do seriously and making it into a joke. And that's helped me out a lot. I've come to learn many new people I wouldn't have met if I would have kept it strictly to the algorithm that was specific to just the people who I grew up with and I followed and things like that. You know, I had to switch it up. And because of that, I got a lot of amazing feedback. I've grown, I've evolved, I've changed, I've learned, and I've adapted. And that's one of the reasons that I do it. But I've noticed that when people who are comfortable with you or talking to you or feel like they know enough about you, they'll be comfortable to be negative. Even if it's in a joking way, they don't notice how that'll affect you. Ooh, my shoulder. Oh, that hurts so bad. And still they'll downplay your efforts. Even if you're getting positive feedback and you're moving forward and things are actually, like, you know, progressing, they'll still find a way to devalue your effort or try to make it seem like it's not going to go nowhere, or ask you why, or try to get in your head. And like, and that's another sign of having to leave. And at this job, I thought it was going to be like that. And a good amount of people found out about the podcast and actually went and bought merch. They were actually one of the first people that, when I launched the website, bought a bunch of merch. And I mean that they spent a couple $100 on stuff that one, a lot of them, some wore it, others just have it as a thing, like, and I appreciate it. But at the end of the day, they did it to show love and support. And that's what I really, before they even knew what I was actually doing, they just saw that I was doing something and that I was trying. And they saw that I was putting an effort. They saw how I spoke about it and how I was trying to present it, that I was taking it serious, and they respected it enough to show me love and support. And then they asked questions, and still to this day, you know what I mean? They go on and they're like, yo, you coming out with this, you doing that, or you should try. And they give me ideas and things like that. And I appreciate that. I do. But it's, again, it's rough to get that comfortable sharing what you're doing in your personal life with people that you work with without getting discouraged or them devaluing the effort of what it is you're trying to do. Like, there's so many people that I grew up in high school that I see now that are doing content of like being motivational and stuff that I wouldn't even expect it. There's this one chick that I saw that came across my feed of like people you may know. I'm like, yo, I went to school with this chick, and I clicked on her thing, and her profiles are like nothing I would have never thought. She's like a content person. You know what I mean? And it's like a lot of us, I try to do it myself. Not that I qualify as one or whatever, but it's like I do the cold live streaming podcast, like, and I would have never expected this person to be like that or to do stuff like that. And their stuff is like that. And she's really fucking good at it. You know what I mean? And I wanted to say it, but being that it's like it's been years. And I know as a guy I would come off some type of way, but I was impressed. I was impressed because if I don't know how to say it without sounding messed up. Like, if anyone else would see it, they'd be like, okay, she's doing something. But it's like, if you were to grow up with her and know the type of kid she was growing up, you'd be like, this is not the same person. Like, the attitude she had or the way she spoke or whatever. Not that it was bad or not, but it's like there's certain, like, people just change. And it goes to show you people change and people evolve. And it was a nice surprise. That's the way I'll put it. It was a nice surprise. You know what I mean? It was the type of thing that if it was still me thinking or going by the person that she was when we were growing up, she would have been the type of person to make fun of that or just like downplay it or something like that. So to see that, it was nice to see that this person was actually on the other side of the fence, actually making the stuff. And the stuff that she was talking about was really good. It was like, I was looking at it, and at first, like, I wanted to be judgmental. I'm not going to lie. But then after the first one, how I saw like her, the way she presented everything was really good. And that's when I in my head, I'm like, all right, shut the fuck up and watch, because she actually cares. It shows that she was putting in an effort. You could tell that she was doing the stuff herself. You could tell that the things that she was talking about were true to her and who she was and what she was going through. You could tell it was personal. It was from firsthand experience. Like, it was a lot of things that within the first few seconds that I was like, my head was like analyzing and getting like, yo, she actually cares about this. It's not some shit that she's doing just because. Like, and then I started scrolling and looking, and I saw that she was at it for a while. But again, it was just an example of showing how with time people evolve, and you'd be surprised at how many people you wouldn't expect to be into certain things that they're into it now. How many people are coming out that they've been into collecting their whole life, but they've never shared it because they thought it was something that they would get criticized for, judged for, or made fun of, or you know what I mean? And now it's like you see so many people that have like collections of Pokemon cards and Magic the Gathering cards or comic books or like figurines or and shoes is another thing. Like, it's always been, but people actually like collect them and have them in a box and just look at it. Like, they don't even wear it. Like, it's so many different things that you see people hold back because of the fact that they feel like they're going to get judged for it, or people are going to devalue it. You know what I mean? Just because of how they look at it or how society looks at it. And that's what sucks. Like, if you care about it, who cares? As long as you're doing it because you like it, you enjoy it, it brings you some type of joy or peace or happiness or like, but if you don't care about it, don't act like you're willing to die for it. That's my thing. You get what I'm saying? I think that's the other thing to focus on. Burnout. Burnout is something else also, from long shifts with no sense of purpose. That's another thing that'll get you to really question if you feel like you're being ignored or you're going unnoticed and you're invisible at work. You know, when you feel, as soon as you get to work and you're like, damn, I'm doing this again, or like, you know what I mean? Once you get to that thing where you're questioning, like, am I really gonna do this? When you get that thing in your head of like, do I really need this job that bad? When you get in those situations, when you get that question, that voice in the back of your head, like, yo, do we really need this? We can leave right now. We can say there was a death in the family. We can shit ourselves and say we have an emergency and we gotta leave. Like you start coming up like the craziest things. And it's like, yeah, you probably wouldn't do it, but the fact that your brain is coming up with these excuses, that's like, you know, if you wanted to, you could. That's when you gotta ask yourself, like, why? Why are you at the limit where you're like, you know what, I can't do this no more. I shouldn't be here. I got to think of the next thing. Why am I here? What's going on? What am I doing? Where am I going? If anywhere, you know, that it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And we all get to that point, but it's what's the next step? A lot of people just come up with a method to push through it and just keep going another day and another day and another day. But it's like, then you just dig in the hole deeper to when, if and when you get the opportunity to get out of that, you feel like stuck. You feel like you can't. You feel like, oh, you come up with so many excuses. You're just comfortable, but you come up with excuses. You like your coworkers. You don't want to let anyone down. You feel like you owe too many people this and that and whatever. When really you should be focusing on what you owe yourself. But we dig the hole deeper, and you get in that position where you can't get out of it, and the burnout starts becoming guilt in a way, you know, and you use it as a fact, like, you're too old to go to a new place and start all over and put in effort and all that energy to show people that you're a good worker and that you're worth it. And that's understandable. It's like starting a brand new relationship with somebody. You don't want to start a brand new relationship with someone and go through the whole thing of, this is who I am, this is my life, this is why I am this way, and who broke my heart. And you don't want to go through the whole thing. It's the same thing with starting a new job. You don't want to go through that repetitive thing of, you know, it's like Batman. It's like Batman. All of us want to see a Batman movie, but we're kind of fucking tired of seeing his parents get shot and the whole, oh my God, and the freaking pearl necklace and all that. We're tired of seeing. We just want to see Batman be Batman, and that's what we want to do. We want to skip all that and just get to the good stuff when it comes to a new job. We don't want to get to the whole thing of putting in the work at the time and the effort and the weeks and the months of, oh, I'll take the extra work and yes, I'll do this and I have this experience and blah 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 blah. And you don't want to do all that, but you have to. You have to, and that's part of the process. And when you understand that, and you understand that there's a method to the madness, and there's a way to do it without it feeling repetitive, and when you do it focusing on what you actually care about, it's never going to feel like it's repetitive. It's never going to feel like it's pointless. It's never going to feel tiring, because you know that there's a point to it. You know that you're getting closer to that actual goal of where you're trying to be, where you should be, where you want to be. And it's hard to find that with any job, but you have to understand that job should just be that, a job. It should be a job that's helping you get by and helping you find your way to get that thing that you have a passion for, to create a career. Whether you find a career working for somebody else or whether you find a way to create your own thing, there's ways to do it, but you need a job. You need something that helps you. It doesn't mean that you have to have a job that you hate and you have to stay there. Yes, sometimes we're stuck at jobs we hate for a period of time. But we're old enough now to understand that opportunity is out there every day, whether you're live streaming, whether you're creating content, whether you have a product, a service, a brand, whatever you want to do, you could do it online. If not, there's millions of jobs out there that you could take. You could work at McDonald's. You don't want to work at McDonald's, you could work at Taco Bell. You don't want to work at Taco Bell, you work at Wendy's. You don't want to work at Wendy's, you could work at friggin' any other, but you don't want to work in fast food. Don't work in fast food. You work at retail. You don't want to work at retail. You don't have to do that. You work over the phone sales. You don't want to do over the phone sales. You can do door to door. You don't want to do door to door. You can do delivery. You don't want to do delivery. Like, there's so many different things you could do. You could work in a school system. I work at a school bus company. You would think I'm driving buses 24/7. I was when I first started, not no more. I'm in the office. I do dispatch work and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But it's like, I never even thought that that was a job. Like, and it's a job that I found after looking for so many jobs and going from one to another. And I enjoy it. And it's not one of those jobs that's like an obvious job. Like, you can get a job cleaning windows and you think like, oh, I would never clean windows. It doesn't mean you have to clean windows outside of a building, hanging and dangling and almost risking your life. Hey, what's going on? Thank you for joining, Christy. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate you stopping by and showing some love. But there's opportunity everywhere, man. So whenever you feel burnout and it's like long shifts that you're working at a job that feel like there has no purpose, that's when you know you got to look for something else that has purpose. You have to find a job that at the end of the day, you know you're tired, you know you're stressing, you know you got to do it all over again the next day, but you have to have a purpose behind it, not just a check. It's purpose over paychecks. Purpose over paychecks. Purpose over paychecks. For everyone who stopped by and showed love in the chat, thank you so much. Leonardo, I got you. Christy, thank you so much for stopping by and showing so much love. Shout out to the POAP team. I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for making it possible for me to create these wonderful little designs of mine that I get in my head, and I turn them into like these little gifts, and I turn them into rewarding, I guess, badges for you guys for showing love and support and taking the time to come by and kick it with me. I truly feel like POAPs are the best way to give people firsthand experiences of how crypto works, how blockchain works, how NFTs work, as well as digital wallets. I think that everyone should at least have some sort of knowledge and experience with that. I think that that's something that we're going to be really big in the future. That's going to be a part of everyone's life in the future is, you know, blockchains and crypto and digital collectibles or just digital stuff in general. It doesn't necessarily need to be NFTs and everything, but I feel like the technology that powers blockchain is going to be embedded in a lot of what we do in our day-to-day lives moving forward. So whatever I could do to give people that little experience of how easy it is to just get their toes wet in that world, and it's not so difficult, you know, I'm gonna do it. Because I was one of those people that I overthought about crypto and digital stuff and everything so much. I thought it was so complicated, and if I could do it, I trust me, you can too. So if you have a POAP wallet, make sure that it's all set up and good to go. If not, you can also go to POAP.com and you can set up a temporary wallet just using your email. Again, anyone who participated, came by and showed love in the chat today, you are qualified to claim a POAP. Leonardo, I got you, my man. I'm going to kick it with you later and ask you some questions in the DM. I know you're always hopping in, showing some love. Christy, thank you so much for stopping by and showing love. We asked a few questions during the live stream also. For anyone who is unable to join the live stream, I created 2 POAPs. I decided to try and make it fair enough for everyone who wanted to take part. I know that the time that I have available to go live kind of conflicts with a lot of times for everyone else. A lot of other people are in a lot of other parts of the United States, so their times are different. I understand that, but I always appreciate anyone showing love and support by any means necessary. So for anyone who cannot participate during the live stream, which I understand, I'm also giving you an opportunity to claim a second POAP or another POAP, which is for anyone who's going to show love and support to the live stream or the episode or the podcast episode of Clocking Out by interacting with the stream after the fact. This will be posted and shared on YouTube. You can also rewatch this on Twitch and on X. And all you would have to do is respond to one of the questions that I asked during the stream. I think I'm also going to put a list of the questions as well that are related to the topic that we're discussing today, which is feeling invisible at work and loud in life. And if you can add any value to the conversation, all you have to do is respond to one of the questions that I asked. Give an example of something that you went through related to those questions and a solution that you came up with it or what you've learned from that. And make sure that you tag and mention Clocking Out wherever you are responding, whether it's on X whether it's on YouTube. Just make sure that you mention us in the comments. We still get the alert, but we would like to mention. And also on Twitch, if you're we're going to be making clips out of all the stuff that we discussed today, so just respond to one of the clips and make sure that you tag us, and that'll also qualify you for the second POAP. Now, each of these POAPs, there's going to be 2 of them. Each of these POAPs will be used as access token for this week's giveaway. All right. I'm trying to decide if I should make one POAP strictly for the VeeFriends giveaway prize, and the other POAP for just a what's going on. Shout out to the biz. I'm trying to use the sound effect and it's not working. I had this sound effect like set up just in case specific people showed up, and I don't know why. I think I did it wrong. I'm gonna have to test this again. Yo, thank you for coming in, Brett. I truly appreciate the love and support. Brett's kicking it with us and in Twitch in the chat. Thank you so much, Brett. Brett, you got a POAP coming your way, my man. Whenever you have a chance, make sure that you answer a question. I'm gonna ask you a question also in the DMs, and then I'll also I'll make a video of it. I'll add it. I have some ideas I'm gonna do with that also as well. I hope you guys don't mind. But yes, as long as you're following and you're subscribed and you come and you chill and you kick it with us in the chat during the live stream, you qualify for one of the POAPs, right? Which is a specific clocking out POAP, and it's for showing love and support during the stream related to the episode. If not, there's a second opportunity that you can get one. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it open to everyone, or if you claim one, you can't claim another. I don't know. I'm going to see how I go about it. I think being that this is the first time we're testing it out and people are getting involved, I think I'm going to give everybody the opportunity just to make it more interesting to claim. And the more POAPs you have, the better chances you have at winning in the giveaway. Now, all this week, we have 3 live streams. Today's the first one. Then we have Wednesday is going to be the second one, and Friday will be the third live stream. Each live stream will have 3 POAPs. Each live stream will have 2 POAPs. One that you can win for participating during the live stream, or one that you can claim for participating during the live stream, and another one that you can claim for participating and showing love after the fact of the live stream because you can't make a live. Again, I understand 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is difficult for many people. They're just getting home. They're just getting settled. A lot of other live streams are going on at the same time, and I completely understand that. I'm still trying to build my following in my community, so I do appreciate any love and support, whether you're coming by just to kick it for a few seconds or a minute or so. I do appreciate it whatsoever. I do appreciate all the love. And if you can retweet or share this also as well with anyone else who you feel like would be interested in any of the topics that we're discussing or any of the prizes that we have. I'm really just trying to get, I got so many VeeFriends stuff. I got so many, bro, I got, let me. Look, look at this. Look, I got this whole box. Look at this. Look, oh, can I get the angle right? Can I get there we go. Look at this. Look at this. I can't. The angle's not right. The sun, there we go. That's the sun. It's not. Look, you see, look, you see these, all these are graded cards. I gotta get rid of these. I want to get rid of them. So you gotta join, you gotta participate. You guys voted on graded cards. This is one from Gary's actual collection. This is a graded card from Gary. You can win this. You can win this. We got a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, I got to get rid of this stuff. The only reason I've ever had this stuff and I built up a collection of it was to get rid of it. I think that VeeFriends is an amazing community for anyone who's looking to get out of any type of hole that they're in, any type of pit stop that they feel that they hit in life and they don't know how to get out of it. It helped me get out of a very tough spot back in the day, and I would like to try to spark that curiosity in someone by giving them a VeeFriends graded card, by giving them a plushie, by giving them a figurine, an unopened pack, a signed hoodie or something that I have from Gary. I got a bunch of different things that are just sitting there that the only reason I've collected it and it's accumulated to the amount of things that I have now is because the whole point was to give it away. So please tell people to come and get this stuff. Just tell them to come, just join the live stream, to follow, to like. That's all you gotta do. You don't gotta buy nothing. Just join the stream. Join the stream, claim a POAP, win a prize. That's really how easy it is. But yes, I really just want to give this stuff away. I thought of like aimlessly in the past, and I've had an issue with this, and it's very upsetting. But in the past, I would just randomly join the Discord and find certain people that would just join that would want certain stuff, and I'd find them and ask for that and just randomly send them stuff. But then it would come out they would never get it. Now, whether they actually wouldn't get it or whether people would claim they wouldn't get it, I don't know. But it would, again, it's certain people that were just joining the community. And at first I thought it was a good idea to just randomly give it out because, it's the community. You want to show people it's a great place. And I realized that because of these being a lot of new people, there wasn't enough of credibility or information to just justify certain things. And I would kind of go overboard sending things. And if anyone has tried sending anything with VeeFriends, it's not easy when it comes to, and what I mean by that, the graded cards, you would think it's really easy to send a graded card. A lot of them get damaged on the way there. You would think it would be really easy to send a little 6-inch, 9-inch, whatever it is, figurine. It's not. Those get very messed up on delivery also as well. And it's little things like that I was like, all right, maybe it got damaged, maybe, and it just get discouraging. And then it gets me to the point wondering if I'm just doing things wrong or if I'm being taken advantage of. And it just got to that point, and it was upsetting because I would come across people who would actually really want something and I would have it, and then I would give it. It came out that I gave it to someone who I found out would take it and then flip it for something else instead of so it's rough. So that's why I wanted to try to do these streams where I made it where no, it's all good, Chris. You didn't miss anything. You're still here. I'm almost about to get off. I've been on for like an hour. Normally my streams go for an hour. I just have a tight schedule, but I'm trying my best to extend it and play around with it just because of the fact, like I mentioned earlier, I know that it's really difficult. The time that I go live, I try to change it, but I my schedule only works with what I have available, with my job, with my kids, and everything else that I'm trying to do. And so I just want to give everyone the opportunity to be able to claim a POAP. I'm using the POAPs because, one, I think it's just a fun way to go about it. It gives people a reason to come and kick it with us, join the chat. I think it's a fun way to go about a raffle or a giveaway. Yeah, and I just want an excuse to get people more active. I wish I had my own collectible cards out there, what I mean, for people to collect also and stuff. But the best I could do right now is a POAP or a few of them. So I've created quite a few over the years, and I'm very thankful for those who've taken part and collected them. And this year, I'm using them again. I don't know if I'm gonna do the 12 nights of POAP like I did that one time. I was thinking about doing something like that to do like a big thing for Christmas, but I don't know. We'll see how far it gets. But yes, this week I'm giving away some VeeFriend stuff. I got VeeFriend cards, VeeFriend graded cards. I put up a what was it, like a tally thing on X, and I asked all you guys what you wanted this week's giveaway prize to be, whether it was a VeeFriends plushie, a VeeFriends graded card, or a VeeFriends figurine. You guys picked a graded card, so I'm going to be picking a random graded card out of all the ones in the collection that I have, and whoever wins this week's raffle will win it, and it'll be their prize. Again, we are going live 3 times this week. Today is number 1. We will be live again on Wednesday and Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I might change the time. I might push it back. I'm going to see if my schedule allows for it. I might push the live stream back and start like around 8 o'clock or something like that to see if that helps with giving more people an opportunity to join. But today we had 3 people in the chat that were active in the chat. We had around 24. We jumped around from 19 to 24. Right now we're at 24 viewers. Thank you guys so much. We have 23 people chilling and kicking it with us on X. We have 1 person on Twitch. I'm pretty sure that's my man Brett. The Breeze. The Bees. I keep saying the Breeze. The Bees. Every time I see it with the Z, I think it's Breeze in the Twitch, but it's the Bees. the Bees, aka Mr. Brett. Thank you so much, man, for coming and kicking it with us. I truly appreciate it. Christy, thank you so much for showing so much love and support. Leonardo, I see you, my man. I got y'all. I'm gonna take this. You know what? Where is right? Got you right here, and then we got Brett also on Twitch. Let me make sure I get that. I also try my best to screenshot everything just to make sure we are good. Hold on, there we go. And I got Brett. All right, all three of you can expect a DM from me later today, later tonight, the latest by tomorrow, so that you guys can claim something special. Spread the word. Again, thank you guys for coming and kicking it with us. These live streams are going to be real random. We're just doing rapid fire questions related to certain topics, and we'll make it into shorts and clips, and those who participate in the chat and the comments for those shorts and clips and respond to the questions that are asked and mention us or tag us will also be eligible to claim a second version of the POAP that will also make you that will also let you enter into this week's raffle. So if you're looking to win some VeeFriends stuff, make sure that you come and check us out. Again, anyone else interested in showing some love and support, if you would like to get some VeeFriends merch, not VeeFriends, shout out to VeeFriends. You want to get some VeeFriends merch, go over to VeeFriends.com also. But if you would like to show some love and support to Clocking Out, and you would like to buy some Clocking Out merch, feel free to head over to ClockingOut.net. You can also get some more information there about our giveaways, raffles, and how we go about our POAPs and everything like that if you're interested as well. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, share with any of your fellow followers. Again, I'm trying to get rid of this VeeFriends stuff, guys. So the more of you come and join, the more of you to come and hang and participate, the easier it will be to get rid of this. So maybe you don't tell nobody, you make it easier for you to win everything. I don't know. It's up to you. Anyway, I love y'all. Have a great night. Stay safe. Peace. This is BR the King of Hearts. This has been another episode of Clocking Out. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. I'll let y'all see you at the next one.